Jamie Lee Curtis is known by many names in Hollywood, but one label that most men will remember her for is that of a sex kitten. Just as impressive as her countless awards is her crazy sex life. There's even rumors of lesbian flings with two big Hollywood names, but who? Well, we'll spill it all in this video. You might find it hard to believe, but Jamie Lee Curtis was often teased at school for her dorky looks. Little did people back then know what a sexy fox was hiding behind her shy demeanor and plain Jane clothes. But beauty is in her genes. How could it not be with parents like Janet Leigh and Tony Curtis? They were the hottest Hollywood couple of their time. Remember this classic super hot shower scene from the original Psycho movie? Who can forget that sexy blonde, right? Well, that was Jamie Lee Curtis's mother. She was an absolute bombshell in her day. Her father was also a Hollywood hunk who had women trailing and drooling behind him. He even had a steamy affair with a then-married Marilyn Monroe and even got Monroe pregnant. Jamie Lee Curtis managed to keep a very low profile throughout her career and kept her personal life very private. But with a little bit of detective work, let's see what dirty details we can find. The first love of Jamie's life was actor Robert Carradine. The two dated in the 70s, just as Jamie was starting to make a name for herself. They met on The Mike Douglas Show, where he walked straight up to Jamie and kissed her flat on the lips. Before that moment, the two had never met. His sheer guts and confidence had Jamie weak at the knees. The two went on a date right after the show and dated for over a year. We can only imagine that it was a wild romance full of lust and passion. To this day, he holds a very special place in Jamie's heart. Jamie also briefly dated actor and singer Shaun Cassidy in 1977. The timelines are a bit hazy, but it was either just before or just after her romance with Carradine. At the time, Jamie and Cassidy were both 20 years old. The couple was spotted out and about with young Jamie looking pretty excited and her hands all over him. In a rare interview, Jamie revealed a very surprising fact about herself that might stun most of her fans. She actually played in Shaun Cassidy's first band. "I am not a musician. I listen to music. Although I did play in Shaun Cassidy's first band, I played rhythm guitar, and I played a couple of songs. Working on a few songs together would have given the young lovebirds plenty of time to fool around." Around that time, Shaun was also one of the breakthrough stars in a TV series called The Hardy Boys' Nancy Drew Mysteries. The show ran for 3 seasons and 46 episodes. Jamie Lee Curtis had a once-off appearance in the 10th episode of the first season, entitled Mystery of the Fallen Angels. It was only Jamie's second role in any film or TV production. And here's a fun fact. Jamie was actually encouraged to audition for the lead role of Nancy Drew, but lost it to actress Pamela Sue Martin. However, it turned out great for Jamie. If she had played Nancy Drew full-time, she may not have been available to play one of her most iconic roles ever, that of Laurie in the horror film franchise Halloween. In the very same year after ending things with Cassidy, Jamie went on to have a 2-year romance with yet another musician, songwriter and guitarist Johnny Lee Shell. Jamie kept her steamy affair with her musician lover out of the spotlight as much as she could, and the two were spotted together only a few times. However, according to some sources, things between them ended on a bitter note. Up until this time, it was only her lovers who knew what a bombshell Jamie really was. Her roles so far were all fairly modest. It wasn't until 1980's Prom Night that viewers would first catch a glimpse of her smoking hot body when she flashed her underwear and her cleavage in a bra. But her figure wasn't the only thing she kept hidden. Jamie also had a secret mystery lover who she refused to name, probably because it involved quite a bit of scandal. And another actress. Jamie and actress Melanie Griffith worked together on the 1981 film She's in the Army Now. Before filming, however, both Jamie and Melanie were sharing the same lover.
Melanie and I had once shared a boyfriend, and so I had always heard about Melanie, and I was very kind of like, who is she?
During filming, the two women became friends and are today inseparable. But there are also juicy rumors flying around that at one stage, Jamie and Melanie were more than just friends, but that they were also lovers. Neither Jamie nor Melanie confirmed these rumors, but again, neither of them ever denied it, so who knows? And that's not Jamie's only rumored lesbian adventure. More rumors are making the rounds that Jamie had an affair with Jodie Foster. This was apparently sometime during the 90s. It's no secret that Jamie and Jodie have been very close friends for a very long time. It's also no secret that Jodie is gay. She publicly came out in 2013 during her Golden Globe speech, but if the two really did have an affair is yet to be confirmed. but in scandalous Hollywood, nothing is impossible. Not long after her breakup with Johnny Lee Schell, Jamie hooked up with production designer Michael Riva. The two met in 1980 while filming the second Halloween film. Jamie immediately fell in love with him. The two had a great deal in common, and both came from celebrity families. Riva also helped Jamie during a very difficult time in her life while her father was battling addiction and she was trying to take care of him. Jamie and Michael even got engaged but broke things off in 1983 before they could tie the knot. In Halloween 2, Jamie once again gave eager male fans a little bit of cleavage to gawk at, but her 1983 film Love Letters would shock everyone. If, until now, Jamie seemed shy and modest and the all-American good girl, this film shattered that image completely. The film showcased incredibly wild, steamy sex scenes with Jamie's breasts on full display for all the world to see. In her next film that same year, Trading Places, Jamie played a prostitute. That says it all. This film was even wilder than the previous one, and Jamie showed off even more of her incredible body. Rightly so, the movie earned her the nickname The Bod. By now, she was labeled a sex kitten and was quickly becoming one of the hottest sex symbols in the business. So, no wonder that her next film in 1984, Grandview, USA, was just as wild and filled with nudity. Jamie herself once admitted that she was typecast and exploited. My biggest roles were to do with my physicality, my body, my sexuality. After splitting from her fiancé, Jamie almost immediately hopped into bed with someone else, musician Adam Ant. They dated for about a year before breaking up, and there's not a whole lot of detail surrounding their relationship. But her next relationship is the stuff of fairy tales. In 1984, in an issue of Rolling Stone, Jamie saw a picture of Christopher Guest, who portrayed guitarist Nigel Tufnell in the fictional heavy metal band Spinal Tap. It was love at first sight. I opened up an issue of Rolling Stone, saw Christopher Guest in a Spinal Tap story, and said, I'm gonna marry that guy. Sure enough, 6 months later, she did. But their romance very nearly didn't happen at all. After seeing Guest's photo, Jamie phoned his agent and left her number for Guest to call her back, but Guest never did. Apparently, he wasn't interested in one of Hollywood's hottest sex symbols. I went on with my life, Jamie said, but a few weeks later they ran into each other at a restaurant purely by accident. He finally called her the very next day. On July 2nd, Chris and I had our first date, and by August 8th, we'd fall in love. The two got married in 1984, just 6 months after meeting. Most people would say it's too soon and think the marriage would end in disaster. However, more than 40 years later, Jamie Lee Curtis and Christopher Guest proved to be one of Hollywood's strongest marriages. The couple share 2 adopted daughters, Annie, born in 1986, and Ruby, born in 1996. Since marrying Guest, Jamie has completely toned down her sex symbol image and has been very particular about the roles she accepts, especially roles that require nudity. She's hardly done any sexy scenes since tying the knot. One of her most infamous scenes is the sexy underwear dance scene in True Lies, starring opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. Originally, director James Cameron wrote it as a nude scene, but Jamie refused to take off her clothes for the dance, even though she had done much more explicit scenes in past movies. The underwear dance was actually her idea, saying that she could still make it sexy and even hotter without going full frontal. Looking back at her career and all the times she took her clothes off for a role, Jamie admits that she regrets it. I wouldn't do it today. It's the last thing in the world I would do now. I wasn't married then. I'm a mother of children. Absolutely not. Speaking about Trading Places in particular, she said, I was 21 years old. Did I like doing it? No. Did I feel embarrassed that I was doing it? Yes. Did I look okay? Yeah. Did I know what I was doing? Yeah. Did I like it? No. Was I doing it because it was the job? Yes. If you enjoyed this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one showing on your screen right now. Click, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.